What's going on, everybody? This is your man Cat with Cat Fitness. We're coming to you once again for your health tip of the day. We're over here at Natruli's Herbs and More in Richmond, California. We're talking to our brother Desan.
How you doing?
Man, this topic, we've been talking about this. How long now, Desan? We've been
Man,
trying to
for
get
some
this
weeks
topic
now,
out.
almost a month. Anyway.
This is one that we had to take our time to make sure we get you guys the right information. We're going to go on a little bit in depth in this conversation. It's probably going to take up the full time, full 10 minutes that we have on here. But as you guys are coming on, I want you guys to make sure that you're asking questions as we go because we want to make sure that we answer as many questions as possible. Today, the topic of the day is leaky gut, y'all. Why is leaky gut so important? Real quick.
Well, first of all, healthy gut is important because that's where most diseases start, is in the gut. So what we put in internally is really important because that's in the gut is okay. Let's go into a healthy gut. A healthy gut, you got your intestinal wall, and it protects your system, and it allows only certain things into your bloodstream and your lymph fluid, which flows throughout your entire system. It's a security blanket. But if it's penetrated or if there's holes created in it, then you get bacteria and toxins that flow in through with your blood and hits all throughout your body and creates inflammation and bacteria build up and feeds all the parasites and worms, and it just everything, like almost
It starts to destroy everything inside of you guys. So let's go over some of the things that we have over here on the board because, man, we got all the information right here. Let's break some stuff down.
Okay, so the actual term leaky gut is really intestinal permeability, meaning that your intestines are permeable, so it allows things in instead of blocking the toxins and the bacteria out and then pushing it out to become waste. It flows throughout your body. Now, there are certain types of foods like sugar and processed foods and meat that cause these holes to happen in our security system that is supposed to be working for us along with our lymphatic system to rid the body of these toxins in these ways. So as you can see here, sugar, alcohol, processed foods, also lack of sleep, even some medications, and can also cause a leaky gut. Now, a person with leaky gut is going to also have some symptoms that a lot of us probably go through and don't realize what it is that's causing this, like allergies, food intolerances, autoimmune diseases like type 1 diabetes, and bloating, gas, nausea, dry skin, even eczema and psoriasis. A lot of us look at that and I was like, psoriasis is supposed to be an autoimmune disease as well. And it's inflammation. It's really just a reaction to the leaky gut situation. It's your body telling you that something else is happening, and that's where it's happening, in your gut. It's basically what we put in.
So a lot of the times when we think of something that's like a skin rash or one of these things that are one of the symptoms that we may have, it's deeper than that.
Oh, it's much deeper than that.
You know what I'm saying? We're thinking about putting creams and stuff like that when we have to get to the root of this situation. And I think that's a lot of times we don't think about it. It's like if the check light engine goes on your vehicle, right? It's like, okay, the light went on. Now, is it my spark plugs? Is it my engine? Is it my timing belt? Like, what's really going on? We have to look at our body at the same way. If we start breaking out and having all these symptoms,
That's just the reaction.
That's just the reaction. Now we have to get to the root of things. And by getting to the root, then you eliminate everything else instead of just masking this the symptoms
Instead
that
of putting a patch on, because it's like
exactly.
If you attack let's use the skin. Like say if it's psoriasis or eczema, that's also inflammation as well. So it's showing up on your body, but it's telling you that something is happening on the internal. So if we attack the eczema or the psoriasis as the reaction, a lot of times you can use some black seed or certain other things that may decrease the inflammation and stop what you see or the itchy feeling or something like that. But the problem is still going to be there, and it's never going to go away, and you're going to always need more and more and more and more of whatever you're putting on topically, because
you never cured it in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just
it started in your gut.
Exactly. So, what are some of the things I know, because it's a lot of different herbs that go with this? What are some of the things that you would recommend, like, to just start off?
Well, I would definitely recommend the lymphatic flush, because, like I said before, when your gut lining is penetrated, stuff goes into your bloodstream and also into your lymph fluid, which travels throughout your body with your white blood cells to help remove toxins and bacteria from your body. And if your lymph system is clogged, then it cannot do that. So if we do have a leaky gut, we at least want our lymph system to be able to help combat that. You know what I'm saying? So a lymphatic flush would be essential, but we also have a deeper cleanse, which is like a detox and then the cleanse, and that's a 30-day cleanse. And definitely the diet goes along with it.
And
An alkaline diet, alkaline vegan diet.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people fail to realize is they start to do a cleanse and then they go back to what they used to eat. Now, whether if they were eating a lot of meat, dairy, whatever the case may be, now you're allowing all these things to happen all over again.
That's correct.
So once you change your guys' diet, guess what? You guys got to make it part of your lifestyle. These are lifestyle changes that are gonna give you the results over a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? If you keep on going back to the alcohol, going back to the processed foods, going back to meat, your body's going to keep on experiencing these things that are telling you over and over again that it doesn't belong inside your body.
Yeah, we made of 102 minerals. So when you're eating, if you're not eating stuff that's going to give you what you lost, what you're trying to replace, then it's going to cause damage.
Man. And so we're going to go over, did we get everything on? So some of the symptoms, we were talking about the allergies, we were talking about the bloating, the gas, diarrhea, constipation, vomiting, nausea. All these things are symptoms of having a leaky gut, y'all. Diabetes, IBS, MS, stroke. Huge things in our communities. And we don't think, when we think of like stroke and diabetes, we don't necessarily think of our gut being affected. Going straight to our digestive system, making sure, is that in place? Is that intact?
And when it comes to, we have our mucous membrane, and we wonder how it gets penetrated in different areas, because if we have bacteria and toxins seeping into our blood, it's getting carried around everywhere.
So how long? So you said it's a 30-day detox that we need to knock out.
The detox and cleanse, yes.
So within those first 30 days, should most of your symptoms start to reverse, or
you'll start seeing a difference, because you're gonna actually scrub your different organs. So the detox is gonna pull out waste, and it's gonna also detox and cleanse your liver, your kidneys. It's gonna flush out your colon and your whole entire your intestinal wall. The yellow dot will get all up in there and push it out. So everything that needs to be cleansed is gonna be cleansed in that. All your filters will be cleansed.
Yeah.
And flushed out. And same with your intestinal tract and intestinal wall, so that you can repair it.
And a huge thing that I really notice on here is the eczema and the dry skin, because so many times when we have like dry skin, eczema, whatever the case may be, we don't necessarily think of the gut. And what do? We throw on some cocoa butter,
topically to try to mask the reaction.
To mask the reaction. So y'all really start thinking about what you're putting in your system at the end of the day, because what you're putting in your gut is affecting the rest of your body. It's clogging up so many different things that are creating these illnesses that are affecting us later in life. Now we're looking at it as like, man, like I did a class this weekend, and we're talking about how to avoid cancer by avoiding certain foods, right? And we talked about the same thing. If you look at this list, we look over here, where these things constantly pop up. You're talking about sugars, you're talking about alcohol, you're talking about processed foods, meats. All these things pop up with these diseases that are plaguing our community right now. And you can find like alcohol in inner city communities every other block. Sugar is in everything. You go to a corner store, what are you going to find? Foods that are full of sugar, processed foods. And the illness, like obesity and everything, is at an all-time high, y'all. So we have to really get to the root of it. And it starts with our nutrition. Nutrition, especially when it comes to weight loss and everything else, is 70% of the battle, right? I tell my clients all the time, it's like we have to focus on what we're putting in our bodies. You know, now getting tone, getting the muscle volume, everything like that, that's 30%. But we have to really focus on what we're digesting. So
and 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut.
There you go. So
if you want to protect the rest of your body, you got to have a healthy gut.
And you know what's so funny? We talk about healthy guts. We can almost predict, or I mean, they do predict when the flu season is. Why? Because you're eating the most amounts of processed sugar, the most amount of meats during that time of year because it's the holiday season, right? But it goes hand in hand. That's why they know when to pass out these shots and everything like that, because they know what you're eating. They know what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
You know? So this is part one. We have a second part of this. What's the second part we're going to be going over next week?
Into the lymphatic system. I briefly touched on it today, but I want to break down the whole entire system so you understand how it works to eliminate your body of toxins and bacteria, and why it's so important to make sure that your lymph fluid is flowing correctly throughout your body, because it carries your white blood cells, which combat infection and disease.
Okay, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. This is only part one of a part two two-part series that we're going to be doing on this particular topic. As you guys know, on IGTV, we only have about like 10 minutes to go over it. So this was part one. Make sure you guys stay tuned in for part two. That's going to be coming up later on this week. But guys, make sure if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, IBS, the dry skin, the eczema, all these
Acne,
different things.
All that. If you come get these cleanses, they can help with all that.
Yeah, and it's deeper than just the skin. You have to look at the gut at the end of the day.
Gut, period.
Yeah.
Even tiredness, being tired.
Come on, what's really going on? Why aren't you getting
being overworked?
Man, rest is key, y'all. I know a lot of us be like, well, I don't have time. You got to make time, because if you don't make time, guess what? You're going to be experiencing things that you really don't want to experience. And a lot of the time, once you go down those paths, if you're not treating these things with the proper herbs and stuff like that, especially if you're going to the doctor and they're getting you on pharmaceuticals, they want you to stay on these things for a lifetime. And we're talking about not just giving you herbs just to take. We're talking about actually curing and reversing the diseases that we're talking about today. Okay? So, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Make sure if you're enjoying the content and the information that we're presenting you guys, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button right here at the bottom. Make sure you're also hitting the like and share button, because our goal is to impact over 1 million people in inner city communities, and we can only do that with your guys' help, with you guys sharing this information, us educating each other, and bringing these topics to the forefront. We're really not talking about, leaky guts in the community. Why not? Because that's where a lot of sickness starts, within the gut. So let's start having these conversations with each other. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day, tuning in, and anytime that you guys